you're getting it as close to an HD console as possible, even though the Wii isn't. Now, I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah, Eric Nostinger, our CCO, is very passionate about sound. So whenever rest assured that the sound will always sound great in our games.
So that's one thing encourage you, Thomas. With the graphics in the game, are the graphics? I noticed I've been reading around and that the graphics are really stable. That you have a really stable frame rate, and it looks well all the way around. Was it really difficult to get this in? And what's the most beautiful location you've built in the game so far?
Yeah, I mean, the Quantum 3 has been in development now since Conduit 1. So, during the process of making that game, we were also learning how that engine worked. And, throughout the couple of years that we've been working on the Conduit and Conduit 2, we also made Gladiator, and some of the artists that worked on Gladiator also worked on some of the environments in Conduit 2. And I mean, I was the producer on Gladiator, and I was really proud on the art that we did for that game. And I think some of the techniques and artistry that we used on that game kind of moved on to Conduit 2. So Conduit 2 uses a lot more.
We do some really we do some really nice detail maps for being up close to environmental objects that we didn't do in the first game. So now when you get right behind that cover, you can see all the dirt and grime all over it and things like that. That's something we didn't have before. As far as the map is, different maps and different locations and what looks really nice, we've got a level set in China that's my personal favorite. Real nice lighting. We did, our artist did some amazing things with light maps and it just made it look beautiful. So anyway, that's my personal favorite.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Eric on that as well. Yeah.
All right. Continuing with that, actually, of a gameplay element, I know that GameStop just recently announced that they have the exclusive limited edition.
Yeah.
I know it comes with the exclusive suit, the art book, and the Eye of Ra. Is that just a skin for the ASC, or does that actually play a part in the story?
That's kind of basically it is a skin, but it's kind of a neat thing. We like to say it's like a relic from the past because one of the storylines is that the alien species like to kind of collect objects from around the world. So I guess it could tie into the story.
And as far as gameplay goes, like you said, it's basically just a skin. One of the things we did with the ASE in general in this game was speed up how fast it takes to, or how long I should say it takes to scan objects or hack into the computers. So you should notice a big difference just in general with the game and how long you spend actually using the ASE's abilities. Oh, also, speaking of the ASC, one of the things we added to this game that we didn't have in the first one was the ability to send out the pings manually. Whereas in the first game, when a hidden object was nearby, the ASC would ping automatically. And we know a lot of players found that annoying after a while. So what we've done with this one is it's up to the player to send out those pings. I mean, it's an audio and a visual cue that there's something nearby. So once you've cleared an area of enemies, you can pull out the ASE and send out a ping, and any objects that are scannable within the immediate area will ping back at you with both a visual effect that's like a ring and their own separate ping sound coming back.
That's a really clever way to do that. That's really smart. I like that. So you're not hearing the ding, 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 although you actually have to look. It's more like a scavenger hunt type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool. I know that this limited edition was just announced, but a lot of people were actually wondering, because you guys are having support for the Headbanger headset, is there going to be some bundle that you can announce, or I know you can't, with a headset?
I'm not aware of any right now, but who knows?
Well, are you going to have your own exclusive Headbanger headset? I know Black Ops got one. Are you guys looking into that as well, or still something?
Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure. I haven't heard any of that. So.
All right. Well, let's go back to gameplay then.
Sorry. I can say is that we've been using it around the office, and it's way better than we speak.
Well, I'm
really gonna like using it instead.
yeah, I know WeSpeak. I mean, it's a great solution to speaking on the Wii, but it's not your ideal gaming way to talk and everybody can hear what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, it worked when it worked, but it was good for what it was.
Let me see. I got a bunch of questions here. Let's see. People want to know how destructible are the environments. I know we've seen some videos where you can shoot through glass, break some walls, but is it fully destructible, like the different scenery, or is it very limited and pre-placed things?
It's limited to objects that are placed in the environment that are destroyable, like crates, and we have a lot of objects. I mean, I don't want to give the sense that there's not a lot of motion going on in a large scale firefight. I mean, when you're going through the ruins of DC and there's paper boxes and radios and just other electronics sitting on tables and on desks and things like that, they're all getting blown up, and papers are getting flown into the air. So there is a lot of motion going on. But as far as cover goes, that's limited to more things like crates and explosive barrels and things like that.
Mm-hmm. I want to start talking about the new mode in the game, Invasion Mode. I know that's something you guys really wanted to bring onto the game because it looks like a lot of fun. What was the reasoning behind adding an Invasion Mode? Just as another idea, or what was with that?
Well, we really, wanted to bring a solid co-op mode to the game. An Invasion Mode allows us to do that with, up to 4 players. Invasion Mode is just fun. It's, ever-escalating waves of enemies. We've got a lot of different types of enemies in the game, going back into the first one and the new ones that we've added in this game, with a variety of different environments to fight Invasion Mode in, and it takes a lot of skill and time to go through and clear out a whole Invasion Mode. I mean, there is, which is maybe something else you might be wondering if there is an end or not. And there is an end. There's a set number of waves, and if you can get through all of them, obviously you score more points and you earn more money.
But it is very difficult to get that far.
Yes.
That sounds like a lot of fun. During Invasion Mode, are you able to switch out your weapons? Let's say you're working with one set, but it's not doing that great because let's say it's only long range and you're getting a lot of swamp. Are you able to switch in and out during Invasion Mode?
Yeah. You can choose any of the loadouts that you use for single player, multiplayer, Invasion Mode. They're all swappable. So you can take in whatever you want with you. But like I said, since Invasion Mode is fairly long, you're probably going to have to switch up weapons at some point during the match. We do, have supply drops that come every so many points that you earn for Invasion Mode, which you can use to refill ammo and pick up more grenades and things like that. But if you're out of bullets, you're out of bullets. You might have to pick up a new weapon that an enemy was previously carrying.
Okay, so if they're not available at that time, you're basically left to what you can get.
Yes.
All right. I know this is probably not going to happen, and it's not too bad, but is there any ability to dual wield weapons?
No, we don't have that ability in the game.
Is it something you would want, or is it just the game is all right without it?
Is there are there other Wii shooters that do that? I'm just curious.
No, there's not a single Wii shooter that does that.
Yeah, I know you worked on Grinder, right? Did we try that? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's a bit weird with using the pointer to dual wield, in my opinion. If I guess we were class controller exclusive, it might be a little more intuitive, but it just doesn't seem intuitive to me to have dual wielding on the Wii. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I've personally thought about, and maybe for a future game, we'll definitely bring it into the franchise. But for now, because of the way the ASE works and things like that, we didn't put that into this one.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I could see it being a real weird workaround too. Speaking of the pointing, how does the Wii Motion Plus come into play? I know it gives you better tracking off screen. What exactly does it incorporate into the game?
Yeah, I mean, basically that's what it is. It's slightly better, aiming, and you can, if you go off screen, you can aim. It's pretty as simple as that.
Yeah, you can. We have an option where, or at least we did in the first game, where you could continue to aim while it was off screen, but because there was no Wii Motion Plus support, it wasn't quite as accurate. But I can say after trying it in the second one, it's definitely still pretty accurate. And once you add the Wii Motion Plus, you don't have to worry so much about going off the screen. You can continue to look around and aim and move about the environment pretty easily without having that slight delay of pointing your controller back at the screen.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's get a question from the chat. Oh, here we go. Tricky is asking again whether or not. I'm sorry, not Tricky. Simpson. Excuse me. He's wondering, when you guys had that contest for the Conduit 1 map, when are you going to be able to announce who won, or do you know what map is coming back yet?
I would hope we would know what map, because they're in the game. I thought Sega announced the winners. Definitely Streets. I'm not sure if we've ever really announced the rest, but I can say that, I think.
Streets? Alright. Yeah, I could see Streets coming back.
I think it was on Facebook and the forum, so I think the results are there.
Yeah, we brought back 3 maps from the first game. So, Streets is one of them. And they've all had facelifts. It's not like we just brought them over. They're all graphically overhauled to integrate all the new features that we've exposed in Quantum 3 over the last couple of years. And they look fantastic. Streets looks amazing. So I think old fans of the maps will really be excited to see the way they look now.
That's good to know. I know. I personally like Streets, but my favorite map was personally Pentagon, because in all the maps on the game, I thought that was one that took the most strategic planning to try to win through. But I know Streets was a big fan favorite. You can hardly get on a match nowadays and not go into Streets. So let's see. Another question. Tricky wants to know how many glitches have been patched in multiplayer.
As far as an exact number goes, I couldn't tell you a lot. We've spent an extensive amount of time, and Sega has been real good about helping us find the exploits from the first game and make sure they're fixed in this game.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and plus we have the ability with DLC to potentially patch any other exploits that might rear their ugly heads after the game ships.
Yeah, and one thing we did definitely fix is the auto aim lock on. Glitch, not glitch, but exploit, where if you point at the screen and then put your hand over the remote and lock on, you can kind of auto aim at people's heads.
Yeah, we took out the ability to have your crosshair centered in the screen, and then it was an exploit that involved the crosshair being locked to the middle of the screen and the lock on. It's basically why we took the lock on off of the classic controller. It was the same reasoning. So. That's an exploit that we worked around for this game.
I mean, we were very conscious of the exploits from the first game, and we've, taken, like I said earlier, taken a lot of strides to make sure none of that creeps into people's experiences for the sequel.
Yeah, I mean, like we said earlier, the glitches were something that you guys couldn't really fix. It's people who exploit it have way too much time on their hands to figure these things out. Let me see. I know that the hacker community was a really huge problem when Conduit first came out. How are you going to be able to handle the hackers this time around? I hear you have a way to kick them out. Is that like constant, or how's that going to work?
Like we said, if people feel, hopefully no hackers get online, but you can't totally prevent that. We're working our best to make sure that doesn't happen. But yeah, like we said earlier, the vote kicking is basically you play somebody, and if you feel that they're cheating, you can vote kick them. And I guess I don't exactly know how many votes they need, but if other people do that as well, they'll get kicked off the lobby. Yeah, I mean, we're doing some other things behind the scenes. Of course, we can't really discuss that.
I mean, of course not, because if some of that got out, they'd figure it out, and it would completely ruin the point of it.